What's up, everybody? My name is OMG, WTF, I love WBRB. Welcome back to more Total Extreme Wrestling 2016. We are playing as the WWE in the year 2002, and we are booking the brand era of the WWE with our own little spin on that, but I'm sure we all are aware of our twist on it by now. Today, we are booking Monday Night Raw. This will be the Raw after the pay-per-view. Of course, that pay-per-view being Backlash, so we'll see a little bit of a, a backlash from Backlash, per se. Real quick, before we get started into this, I want to make a couple of, announcements real quick. Just want to apologize for not having this uploaded sooner. I'm sure it doesn't matter to a lot of you, but I really am trying to stick to the schedule. Last week was a little bit hectic. I actually had a wrestling show last weekend, so I was a little busy then, and then since I took off the weekend to go do that wrestling show, I pretty much had to work all week, so I've been working the graveyard shift from like Monday all the way up until Saturday, so I haven't had a whole lot of time to sit down and work on Invasion, and the little bit of time that I did have to work on the game really wasn't enough time to actually sit down and record. So I'm finally getting the opportunity to record now, so I just want to apologize. I'll try to stick to the schedule as best as I can, but there will be times where I will lag out a little bit here and there with my wrestling, with work, and with some other things, just life in general getting in the way. But I hope you guys will understand that. And on another side note, I'm praying to the wrestling gods like JBL himself that my microphone works on this episode. I mean, I've done a bunch of test recordings. It seems like nothing is wrong with it, but let's just say my dog may or may not have stepped on my mic in some sort of way to where the cord is now kind of weird. Like I don't know how to explain it to you guys, but pretty much like you guys know that little plastic shelling outside that like covers, the USB part, or it's not really the USB part, it's a part of the mic. I don't know how to explain it. Either way, the plastic shelling, I guess, came off of it, but I'm still able to slide like the chip into the plastic shelling that makes it work. It seems like it's working, so let's just hope that that's not another thing that I have to end up paying out the ass for, because it's not as expensive as a laptop is, so I will be able to replace a microphone if need be, but honestly, it seems like it's working right now, so this will be kind of the first test episode. I just hope I don't end up getting through Monday Night Raw just to find out that the microphone started making me sound like a chipmunk or something. Anyway, I'm sure a lot of you guys are just irritated with me and wanting me to just start off the episode, so let's go ahead and run the show, shall we? I should have got some water. I make that mistake quite a lot. Anyway, though, we have one pre-show matchup here, which gets a 52D+ rating here, and a terrible pre-show match. The team of Damnation, Ron Simmons and Rodney Mack, go over the makeshift team of Tajiri and Hayashi, who is formerly known as Kaz Hayashi, but I just shortened his name, in 8 minutes, 9 seconds when Rodney Mack defeats Tajiri with the Blackout Submission Hold. In terms of in-ring performance, Ron Simmons, of course, carried the match. That is not surprising at all. Unfortunately for Rodney Mack, despite gaining a little bit more popularity here and there, becoming a little bit more recognizable to the world around, the crowd is still very against him, not very thrilled with seeing him wrestle. It's going to be a project. I mean, his own partner doesn't even think he's that great, so the world's against you, Rodney Mack, but you got my support. I'm willing to try and get you over somehow in some way here. Either way, though, this is positive in my opinion, because not only is Tajiri and Hayashi got neutral chemistry here as a team. I mean, it would have been amazing if they had great chemistry or excellent chemistry or any chemistry whatsoever. The one thing that is of note here is they don't have negative chemistry. So they work well as a team, which is awesome, so I'm going to go ahead with a storyline that I have planned with them. And Steve Blackman, he's kind of serving as their manager in this role, so neither negative chemistry while managing Tajiri or Hayashi, which is promising for the storyline that I want to run with in the future. So, alright. Anyway, here we already know about Ron Simmons. Hayashi with the in-ring performance of a 46, already outperforming Rodney Mack. That's not good that both Tajiri and Hayashi, who really don't have a whole bunch of popularity behind... Well, Hayashi's got some popularity. Tajiri, maybe not. But they're already outperforming Rodney Mack. I mean, Mack just is not good, apparently. I don't remember him in real life all that well either, so I'm not sure if he was really this bad in real life or the mod creator of this just really wasn't a big Rodney Mack fan. Or maybe he just didn't develop enough in my developmental territory. All are possibilities. Either way, though, Hayashi, 46, Tajiri with a 39, Rodney Mack with a 40, and Ron Simmons with a 69, dude. No worker improvements. I would have liked to have seen Rodney Mack get some worker improvement, but what can you do? All right, moving on to the opening segment of the night. We open up with an 85 B+ rating here. After the Backlash recap video ends, Raw opens up in pitch black. None of the lights are on, as the theme of the Dead Man, of course, the instrumental from Whom the Bell Tolls by Metallica, goes over. It plays over the loudspeaker, and out comes the WWE Champion, The Undertaker, on his bike, with flames erupting behind him as he rides down the rampway. And once in the ring, the lights come back on at The Undertaker's demand, of course, as he takes to the mic and he begins to speak. And I'm more and more regretting not bringing some water here. So, if my voice impersonations aren't the best here, my apologies. I only have like a little bit of some Pepsi Wild Cherry here. Enough for maybe a swig. Sponsored, not sponsored, by the way, by Pepsi Wild Cherry. Thank you, Pepsi. Anyway. A month has passed since I put WCW to rest. And for a month, another brand has attempted to resurrect the dead as they parade around like nothing has changed. But when I brought this to Vince McMahon's attention, he told me that plans had changed. Vince McMahon, the man who wanted the old Undertaker to return from the grave and put WCW to rest. Oh boy, here we go. Now telling me that plans had changed. Well, Mr. McMahon, you didn't get the old Undertaker, did you? And you sure as hell didn't get the human Undertaker either. The devil himself sent you the Reaper Rider to claim a soul, and you spat in Satan's face and claimed that soul for yourself. And now the devil is sending me once again to get him another soul in return for the one stolen from him. Now, as I pull out my handy-dandy notepad, allow me to continue. And that soul belongs to you, Vince McMahon. Now the only question is, will you face your destiny like a man, or will the Reaper have to send the hounds after you? I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty proud of that Undertaker impersonation without the water. But as the Undertaker awaits for Vince McMahon, a camera feed begins to take over the Titantron, and we see a limousine pull up in the parking lot. But instead of Vince McMahon and even Eric Bischoff stepping out of the limousine, instead comes out the entire Clique, being, of course, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, Shawn Michaels, and Kevin Nash. And all four members begin to make their way towards the ring. The cameraman, of course, following them, so we see them the entire way from parking lot all the way up to about the entryway, where the camera finally pans back out to the outside of the ring as we see the Undertaker giant just standing there watching and waiting for the arrival of the Clique as their music begins to play. And out comes all four members. I almost said three. All four members, and Triple H takes to the mic as they begin to make their way down to the ring. Okay, here we go, Triple H. Really regretting not having water, guys. Rule number 1 for making videos: bring water. Hey, dead man. Congrats on retaining the championship. But I don't know if you're aware, but you're not defending the WWE Championship against Vince McMahon. Because you see, you're on borrowed time, dead man. It's not Vince McMahon you should be worrying about, it's the Clique. It's Shawn Michaels and Big Sexy, Kevin Nash. It's me, the game, Triple H. And trust me when I say, the only damn McMahon you need to worry about is standing right beside me, and her name is Stephanie McMahon Helmsley. So just in case you forgot what I'm famous for, dead man, let me remind you. And that's when the Clique, kind of like the Shield. Remember how the Shield would kind of surround the ring? All three members of the Clique surround the ring, and they begin to get up on the apron. They're looking to take out the Undertaker. Classic Clique style, as we're already seeing. It's their game plan. They take names, and they don't work. I don't know where the hell I'm going with that analogy, but anyway, they're looking to pretty much take out the dead man before they have to worry about him. But unfortunately for the Clique, fire erupts from the entryway, and out comes the WWE Intercontinental Champion, Kane, the younger brother of The Undertaker, who comes to the aid of his older brother. And as he makes his way down to the ring, the Clique flee through the crowd because they are not down for a fight between the BOD right now. So as they make their way through the crowd, The Undertaker takes to the mic to lay out his own personal challenge here, and he goes on to say, "I don't do well with distractions, Hunter. But if it's a fight you want, then I suggest you pick one of your brothers there, and if you're bold enough, step into my yard, and we'll settle this the old-fashioned way." And Triple H once again takes to the mic to accept The Undertaker's challenge in his own little way, of course, as he goes on to say, "You want to fight? You're on. But we're doing this on my time. So if you really are ready to have to use a cane for the rest of your life, then I'll see you in tonight's main event. The Clique doesn't open shows." And that's kind of where the segment ends, as JR and King, "Well, did you just hear that? Tonight we have a huge main event as the Brothers of Destruction will take on Triple H and one member of the Clique, blah, blah, blah." You know where it's going from there. Either way, before we move on, let's get rid of this. We don't need that anymore. We went ahead and tweaked Trish's gimmick there, so she's fine. Our backstage is still, unfortunately, at a 0% right now. Hopefully that'll start increasing here soon. I've seen a couple of the comments here. Unfortunately, I don't believe that I saw there was a cheat code that'll affect backstage ratings, but someone did comment below and say that one of their buddies had done it in the past, and it took them a few months to, but everything went back to normal. So unfortunately, we'll probably just have to deal with it until then, but that's my own fault. Of course, we do have a couple of more news that I wanted to go over here. All Japan Pro Wrestling is looking for a new booker. I'm not entirely sure what happened to their booker. I think his contract ran out and they didn't re-sign him. I don't know what exactly happened, but either way, they are looking for a new booker. Of course, I'm not going to sign, but it is something to kind of look forward to see who the new booker will become. I'll keep you guys updated with that. And if it starts changing All Japan, maybe they'll start becoming a real threat, because we are kind of an international company now, and everyone's our competition in a way. Anyway, interesting news here as well. TNA, or better known as Impact Wrestling now, but I think we all refer to it as TNA, Total Nonstop Action, has officially been founded. Of course, in the game they were known as NWA TNA, but since I'm kind of like the owner of the NWA right now, since I own or am partnered with NWA Wildside and as my developmental territory, I went ahead and cut off the NWA from TNA, and it is just TNA. So Jerry Jarrett, the father of Jeff Jarrett, has gone ahead and founded TNA, and I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on TNA in the future here, and maybe trying to make sure they stay alive here, since they are kind of a one of those bigger competitions. Maybe I'll give them a little bit more money than they're supposed to have. Maybe I'll adjust their popularity. You guys let me know what you think we should do with TNA down below in the comment section. Steve Bradley, who was in our developmental area, we have let his contract run out. He was in the HWA, Heartland Wrestling Association. We let his contract run out. He was really no good, so we just said, get out of here, Steve. There's no need for you, dude. And out he went. I think we tested him out one time, and he showed up on drugs, so it was like, oh boy, that's not a good sign. So yeah, he was nothing special. And then finally, To end off the news here, Tito Santana has officially retired. Tito Santana, kind of a WWE legend in a way. I believe he was like a former Intercontinental Champion and whatnot. So he's officially retired. He no longer is a worker. And I wouldn't say that's sad, but in a way, I guess it is sad. I don't know. It's kind of depressing because it'll be cool, or it would have been cool if some of the young guys could have worked with Tito Santana and he could have, gave them some of his popularity. But it's not meant to be, I guess. Either way, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, of course, have their great chemistry. We know about that. This angle got the show off to a strong start. Crowd was hot, and it advanced the segment between the Clique and Hulk Hogan, and the downfall of the Dead Man storyline gained some heat, some much-needed heat, I may add. By the way, you may notice we also changed some people's pictures here. Kevin Nash and Kane's kind of just changed them to be more updated to what they were looking at or looking like around this time. So we got Nash with his blonde hair and Kane with his mask where he can talk. Because I think I'm going to have Kane start talking more often now. Give him that little bit of a test. Alright, so what we got here is a 75 B- here, just a quick little segment just hyping up tonight as JR and King are hyping up that not only will the Clique be in action against the Brothers of Destruction, but we will see a WWE Tag Team Championship match as the Dudley Boyz defend against the Hardy Boyz in a tables match, and that'll take place tonight. No. And then we also get a quick little update on Goldberg after the commercial break, just kind of talking about how he's been in the hospital. He's been just laying in the bed. He hasn't been really able to move. It's not that he's comatose. I don't want to make it seem like he's in a vegetative state here, because I really don't think Goldberg will be out all that long. But the whole kind of injury I'm trying to sell here is he's kind of maybe gotten like an injury to the rib cage or something like that. He's still spitting up blood, and it's advised to maybe that, he takes it easy for a while. Just so a quick little update on Goldberg's injury, as we saw Rhino kind of give him the beat down on Backlash, or at Backlash, I should say. 75 B- for that. We then move on to our opening match of the night, which is nothing special here, as we hired a young Eric Young, trying to get him a little bit more popularity in this here. Maybe he'll start being used by some of the independent companies around the world, getting hired out and improving. So we went ahead, we gave him a shot here tonight against one of our talents here, or one of our stars, I should say, in Rhino. A quick little squash match, 57 C- rating. Terrible matchup here. Rhino defeating Eric Young in a minute 14 second with a gore. So Rhino making very quick work of the young Eric Young here. Eric getting better at his gimmick, so good for Young. Really making the most out of this match here tonight, I guess. Rhino really standing out as good. Unfortunately for Eric Young, he had an in-ring performance of a 14. It's not like he got a lot to show off here, and I'm not sure exactly where his popularity is, but a 14 I don't think is the best rating for someone without, even without any popularity. Rhino, on the other hand, with an 83 in-ring performance. Man, if our backstage rating wasn't so bad, I'm sure Rhino would be pulling out 90s. No worker improvements, which is unfortunate for Eric Young. I would have liked to seen him maybe get a little bit of a... Look at that, executed squash, good stuff. A little bit of improvement from Eric Young here, maybe trying to make the most of his appearance, but what can you do? We then go to an 88 B+ rating here, as after the match is over, Rhino takes to the mic, and he sends a message to Goldberg as he stares right into the hard cam, and he begins to speak, and he goes, Goldberg! Goldberg! God, that kills my voice. I'm glad I only wrote that twice. Did I hurt poor little Billy Boy? I thought Goldberg was supposed to be this Terminator-like machine who's retired some of the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. Yet, when faced up against the human wrecking ball, he found out firsthand that the wrecking ball always wins. But, you know what pisses me off? It's that even though I'm clearly standing here, the winner, while Goldberg sits in a gurney at a hospital like a loser, the record book tells a different story. Because I don't play by the rules. So Goldberg, if somehow, some way, you find your way out of that hospital gurney, then let's have one more fight. I know you'll want your vengeance, but let's do it my way. Let's play by Rhino's rules. And you'll soon find out that Rhino's rules means no rules. And then he throws the mic down and he heads to the back as Rhino has clearly sent his message. He wants one more fight against Goldberg. He's not happy that he is the loser in this situation, and he wants to put Goldberg down once and for all and show that he is the better man, I guess. This angle got the crowd hotter, gained heat for the Rhino Goldberg storyline. All in all, good stuff. Can't complain at all. Great promo from Rhino, by the way. Probably his best. 88 B+. Good stuff. 65 solid C rating here as we get a little bit more hype up for the segments that take place here tonight. The number one contendership for the Women's Championship is hype, as we will see Lita take on Jacqueline, and the winner of that, of course, will go on to face Trish for the women's title. And, of course, once again, the WWE Tag Team title match hype as well. 65 solid C for that. No. We then go on to a 62 solid C rating here as we are backstage in the Team Extreme locker room as the Hardys and Lita, and I guess technically Lou Fisto because she is Lita's manager at this time to help her get a little bit more popularity since she's associated with Lita. Anyway, they're all warming up for their upcoming matches here tonight when Matt Hardy begins to give them a little bit of a pep talk here. So he steps up and he goes, "All right, Team Extreme, I know things haven't been going exactly our way lately, but tonight that changes. Because tonight, Lita, you'll go on to repeat what you and Lou did on Sunday night and beat Jacqueline, and then go on to beat Trish Stratus to become the two-time WWE Women's Champion. And Jeff, tonight, you and I shut everyone up who thinks that we've lost it. And you know, I'll admit it. I'm the one to blame. I'm the one to take a lot of this blame. I've let my obsession with the spotlight get to my head. But after Sabu and I almost died last night, I saw the light. I saw that we need to get back together to our old ways. Which is why tonight, I talked to Mr. Bischoff and he agreed to give us a shot at the WWE Tag Team titles. And even better, I told him to give us a tables match." And kind of catches Jeff Hardy off guard there as he looks at Matt and he goes, "What?" And then Matt goes, No. Listen, don't worry about it. If we're going to be great, then I got to take out my handy dandy notepads and we need to go over some ideas here. I don't know what the hell I'm saying here. We got to beat those Dirty Dudleys at their own game. And when I say we've gotta, I mean we gotta, Jeff. Because Mr. Bischoff made it clear that if we don't win tonight, then it's the back of the line for us. So bring your A game, all right? So a very serious Matt Hardy here as he wants to win. I guess he had a bit of a epiphany, you can say, after his life flashed before his eye when he and Sabu took the dive that I guess could have killed both him and Sabu. Of course, Matt Hardy still foreshadowing that heel turn. I mean, can we trust Matt Hardy? And it did lose heat for the storyline, but I'm hoping we'll gain that back tonight. As we move on to our next segment here, yes, we go to a 60 solid C rating here. As the Angles are set for tag team action up next. They are making their way down to the entryway. Kurt Angle, of course, is storming ahead of his brother, still very heated from what happened last night as Eric Angle tries to catch up and shout out to his younger brother, and he goes on to say, Kurt, come on, Kurt, let me talk to you. Why should I listen to anything you have to say, Eric? You clearly don't listen to me. And Eric, taken aback a little bit, but surprisingly, he understands where Kurt's coming from as he begins to speak up, and he goes, "Dude, I'm sorry, okay? I got a little excited last night. I've never been in front of so many people. And I thought you had it won, and I wanted to celebrate with my baby brother, and I'm sorry, okay? I jumped the gun, and I cost you the title." And then Kurt just looks at me and goes, "I don't know why you just didn't stay back like I told you to." Man, I don't know, Kurt. It's like I said, I've never been in front of that many people, and I guess I just got too excited, and I didn't see where my own 2 feet were taking me, and next thing I know, I was out there in front of everybody, cheering you on, watching you about to beat The Undertaker, and yeah. Can you forgive me? And Kurt, kind of pissed still, but he He runs his hands between his hair, and he goes, "Ugh, damn it, Eric. I can't be mad at you. I mean, I remember my first time too. But you've got to listen to me, man. I know you're my older brother, but I've been around here a lot longer than you." And Eric, he understands. He goes on to say, "You know what, Kurt? You're right. I'm sorry." And finally, now that the Angle brothers are on the same page, Kurt, he puts his hand on Eric's shoulder. He begins to psych him up, and he goes, "Good. Now that we're on the same page, today marks..." Hold on, I got to pull up the handy-dandy notepad here again. A lot of handy-dandy notepad appearances here tonight. "Today marks the day that the Angles are joining the ranks of the WWE Tag Team Division. And if I were the Dudley Boyz or the Hardy Boyz, I'd watch my back, because the WWE has a new pair of brothers to watch out for." And Eric, with a big smile on his face, looks at his brother. He goes, "Oh, it's true." And then at the same exact time, they both go, "It's damn true." We can get rid of all that. That's the last appearance of the handy-dandy notepad, unfortunately, here. So let's go get ahead and get rid of all that. But looks like the Angles are, back on the same side of things, and looks like we got a new team in the ranks here. Of course, Kurt Angle came out looking excellent, definitely overshadowing his baby brother here, or excuse me, his older brother here, as Eric did not come out looking too excellent here. This did go ahead and lose heat for the storyline, but that's to be expected. I mean, they just went from The Undertaker to, this. Eric Angle definitely brings it down a little bit, but here's some promise, you guys. Eric Angle learning to show more charisma. You gotta love that. You got to love that. So we go into said tag team matchup here against the Pimp Party. We get a 66C+ rating here. In a poor matchup, the Angles go over the Pimp Party in 9 minutes 42 seconds when Eric Angle defeats Val Venus by illegally using the ropes for leverage. Eric Angle kind of cheating the win here, but hey, it worked to his advantage. Who am I to judge? Of course, Kurt Angle carrying the match in terms of in-ring performance. Eric Angle, the weak link, struggling to keep up with everybody else's in-ring performance, but it's a project. What can you do? Unfortunately, it doesn't look like our road agent reports. Oh, I guess I took it out. I meant to put Tracy Brooklyn, and I could have swore I did too, actually. Tracy Brooklyn and Molly Holly battling it out here to kind of lead to the finish, but I guess it didn't work out that way. I wonder if it went along with the storyline, though. No, it didn't even advance the storyline, so I don't know what happened. Interesting. Either way, though, Tracy, of course, did do some good work at ringside. I don't even think I did the angle I wanted to with Molly Holly and Tracy anyway, so it works out. But what can you do? The Godfather, of course, has excellent chemistry with Miss Brooklyn here. Godfather getting better at his gimmick. Kurt looked excellent out there, as we already know. Val Venus, in-ring performance of a 51. The Godfather with a 50. Eric Angle with a 38. Oof. That's not good. And Kurt with an 85. And this goes ahead and advances the storyline, of course, between Kurt and Eric Angle. And Godfather's at least improving in his technical skills. I would have much rather preferred to have seen that said Eric Angle's improving in his technical, or Eric Angle's just improving in anything, but I'm curious. Let's look at the dirt sheet and see what it has to say for Eric Angle. At least he's got a good gimmick. Well booked. I'm happy about that. Okay. So we got a couple negatives here, but nothing too bad. Okay, here you go. Eric Angle. He got his inconsistency, but that's really about it. Okay, then. Eric's going to be, I think, more of a project than Rodney Mack, for sure. Moving on, we have a 71B- rating here, as Backstage, the Dudley Boyz are shown to be watching the show, of course, taking it amongst themselves to kind of scout out the tag team division here. I mean, Eric Angle and Kurt Angle kind of, stating that the Dudleys should watch their back, so maybe the Dudleys, getting an idea of what they have to look forward to. And I can't say they're too impressed, as Bubba goes on to say, "Can you believe these two, Devon? They can't be serious. Hey, is that a cameraman? Hey, you come here. And the cameraman tries to get away, but Devon does not allow him to as he runs over, grabs the cameraman, and kind of pulls him over to Bubba Ray Dudley. And Bubba goes, stand there and hold the camera steady because we got a message to the Angles, the Hardys, and the rest of the so-called tag team division. First, the Angles. If you two bozo the clowns think you can lace the Dudley Boyz boots, then you've got another thing coming. Kurt, your chocolate gold medals don't mean dirt to me, and your brother means even less. And the Hardys are holding on by a string. Devon and I will take pleasure in cutting that cord for you two tonight. And as for the rest of the tag team division, none of you threaten me or Devon. We are the best damn tag team in the entire solar system, and if you think you can prove us wrong, we dare you to step up. Hardy boys, I hate it had to be you first. So just a quick little more trash talking promo from the Dudley Boyz here, as they are very confident that they are the best team in the solar system now. This goes ahead and advances the brotherly love segment somehow, and I guess. It did lose heat, some more heat for the Real Team Extreme storyline. That's a bit unfortunate. I guess it did have a lot of heat on it. I'm not going to lie. It was like in the B+ region. It was one of our more higher up storylines. We then move to a 58C- rating here, and I guess that kind of spoils who's going to win the next matchup here, but whatever. 58C- rating as Jonathan Coachman is backstage with Trish Stratus, and he goes on to say, Jonathan Coachman here, and joining me now is the WWE Women's Champion, Trish Stratus. Trish, in just a few moments, we'll have a match between Lita and Jacqueline to determine who will be the next challenger for that WWE Women's Championship. Is there anyone you'd rather face? And Trish just looks at Coach and she goes, well, Coach, I think no matter who wins, it'll be my toughest defense yet, because both women are badasses. And while I do have unfinished with Jackie, I would love to one day step in the ring with Lita. So either way, I'm looking forward to the match. And Trish is still getting her gimmick is still stale, so I guess I might just have to change the gimmick in general. Because I went ahead and tweaked it, but it doesn't look like that's going to be doing too much. 58C- for the promo there, as we move on into the next segment here, which I guess after the commercial break, Lita and Jacqueline are in the ring ready to compete, and Trish comes out to join color commentary for the next matchup here. So 62 solid C rating for Trish joining color commentary, and me abusing the sex appeal here for Trish and Lita, and Jackie was rated on Menace, so if you're curious why it did so good for the rating there for something so basic. So we head into the number one contendership matchup here, which gets a 58C- rating here, and about that had subpar wrestling to it and a little heat. Jacqueline goes over Lita in 8 minutes, 11 seconds, following interference from Jazz. So Jazz costing Lita the match here, maybe providing a little bit of a distraction. I'd actually like to imagine that maybe the referee got knocked out at some point, and Jazz went into the ring and hit Lita with something, and then maybe drag Jacqueline over there to give Jackie the win. Maybe something like that. Either way, Jacqueline does get the win. She will be facing Trish Stratus, as I already kind of spoiled it in my storyline down there before. The announcing, of course, helped us out, so it's interesting to see that Trish doesn't really affect them negatively here. Lita with an in-ring performance of a 58, Jacqueline with a 45. And this goes ahead and starts a storyline between Lita and Jazz, so we'll see those two kind of face off, hopefully, in the future. And hopefully Jazz will be able to improve off of that and gain some heat for the Trish Stratus and Jacqueline storyline here. Also, Lita improving in her performance. Good stuff. We then move on to just a quick little freestyle segment here because I can do a better job of explaining it myself, and I'm too lazy to type everything at you guys. 54C- rating here, as after the match is over, Jacqueline and Jazz, of course, it looks like they're going to put the beat down on Lita as they stand tall. Lou Fisto is not going to take that as she gets into the ring, and she comes down, and she kind of brawls a little bit with them. Trish then comes down to I wouldn't say even it out, but Lita's down, so I guess even it out. So Trish comes down to the aid, and we get kind of maybe a little bit of a stare down between Jacqueline and Trish there for a bit before Jackie and Jazz decide to get out of the ring, seeing that things may not go their way in this situation, and it's better to retreat than to, end up on their backs tonight. Oh man, man, Lita and Trish's gimmicks have to be improved. Well, I mean, Lita will most likely be getting an improvement here sooner rather than later with something that'll be happening. So I guess that's something to look forward to as well. But it advances both the storyline segments here, and yeah, nothing special after that. We then move on to an 85 B+ rating as we are backstage in the Clique's locker room, and they are talking it out, trying to decide which of the two are going to be teaming with Triple H in tonight's main event. And Triple H goes on to talk up, and he says, "All right, guys, look, we don't have a lot of time to decide, so who's it going to be?" And Kevin Nash goes to step up, assuming that, of course, it's going to be him, since we haven't really seen much of Shawn Michaels. But speaking of Shawn Michaels, he puts his arm in front of Kevin Nash, and he steps up instead, and he goes, "All right, look." Horrible Shawn Michaels. "I don't mean to jump in line, Big Sexy, but old Shawn Michaels is getting real sick of hearing all the marks online asking about when Shawn Michaels going to wrestle. Is Shawn Michaels still retired? Is Shawn Michaels washed up? Well, I'm gonna shut him up all tonight. 'Cause, Hunter, I've got your back, baby." And he extends his hand, the two shake hands, and it's official. We're going to get a little bit of like a DX reunion as Shawn Michaels will return to the ring and team with Triple H to take on the Brothers of Destruction. So, kind of a dream match in a way. And of course, we already know about the great chemistry between the husband and wife combo here. And of course, advances the story. I think it's advancing it maybe because these guys aren't aligned. That must be it, because Hogan's not involved in anything here. Anyway, 79 solid B rating here, as once again we just hype up the fact that the Clique will take on the Brothers of Destruction tonight, but now we know it's Shawn Michaels that will join Triple H, and also that the WWE Tag Team table match is next. Yes. So we jump into our WWE Tag Team title match here with an 82 solid B rating here. And about to have good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. The Dudley Boyz go on to defeat the Hardy Boys in 13 minutes, 5 seconds. I guess it goes elimination style, but I really wasn't thinking of it as elimination styles. I was thinking it more of like the first person to go through the table wins, but I've never really been a fan of the whole elimination thing. To me, I think it's more exciting to have it be the first person because it makes it more, you got to watch your partner's back at all time. So that's what I kind of like. But anyway, real quick, let's just check to make sure that, okay, everything seems to be working. We entered the Twilight Zone there for a second. So ignore the whole elimination thing. But anyway, Jeff Hardy gets put through the table via 3D, and the Dudley Boyz make their second defense of the WWE Tag Team Championships here tonight. And I guess it's back of the line for Matt Hardy. So apparently also Matt Hardy was, or not Matt Hardy, I read Matt Hardy's name there, sorry. Back of the line for the Hardy Boys, I should say. But Matt Hardy apparently was the weak link here, apparently, struggling to keep up with everybody else's in-ring performance. Interesting. Matt was off his game as well, which I guess maybe that has something to do with it. But either way, of course, both teams have excellent chemistry. I mean, I think we already know about that. I mean, come on, it's the freaking Dudley and the Hardy Boys. Announcing quality did lift the matchup here. Jeff Hardy with an in-ring performance of an 82. Matt Hardy with a 73. So, wow. Not even close to everybody else. Devon Dudley with an 83, outperforming Jeff by a point. And Bubba Ray Dudley, the best of the match here, with an 85 in-ring performance. Good stuff. Gained heat for the Real Team Extreme storyline. Jeff Hardy's improving in his performance skills. And that advances us to our next segment here, which gets a 76 B- rating here. The match has ended, and a broken down Matt Hardy just sits in the corner, staring at his fallen brother as he lays through the table. And he just kind of sits there for a few seconds longer until deciding to help his brother up from the wooden wreckage that he lays in. He helps Jeff up to his legs before standing before the crowd. He raises his brother's arm up into the air, celebrates with him, hugs his brother as they put on a good fight tonight, and it's going to be a hard road for the Hardy Boys ahead. He looks at Jeff in the eyes. He says, I love you. And he says that right before he takes Jeff Hardy by the head, and he throws Jeff Hardy through another table that was already set up in the corner, and he pulls his brother out from that wreckage once again. He hits his brother with a twist of fate, and then he gets on top of his brother. He just repeatedly beats Jeff Hardy's forehead in with punches after punch after punch, causing his brother to bleed from the forehead. Lita, of course, a good friend of Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy's girlfriend, she races out there. She's begging Matt, come on, Matt, stop this. Please, don't do this. Matt doesn't even hear her, though. He is just continuing to beat down on Jeff Hardy, taking all this pent-up frustration out on his younger brother here, until finally out comes Rob Van Dam and out comes the WWE Hardcore Champion Sabu. They run down to Jeff Hardy's aides. They both got weapons in their hands, whatever, steel chair, doesn't matter what it is, a baseball bat. They come down, they race to Jeff Hardy's aid. Of course, Matt Hardy, seeing the danger that he may be in, he flees from the ring, gets out of the ring, leaving Lita and Rob Van Dam to check on their fallen friend, while Sabu is just daring Matt Hardy to get back in the ring. Come on, mother effer, get in the ring, fight me. And Matt Hardy just sits there smiling at what he's done and kind of seems maybe a little bit relieved, as it's like a weight has been taken off his shoulders. So Matt Hardy finally does it. We've seen the heel turn being teased for quite a long time here, and it officially happens. Unfortunately, it wasn't as strong as the last match or the segment was. Of course, the match was a B+. This got a B-, not even a B. But that Backstage has something to do with it. I'd like to imagine that Lita also had something to do with it. She underperformed. And apparently, Matt Hardy underperformed as well. But this is kind of, I guess, the coming out for Matt Hardy. So hopefully this will be a good future for Matt in the future. Did lose heat for the Real Team Extreme storyline. But let's go ahead and let's complete the turn. So, believe it or not, I'm sure a lot of you guys thought that maybe Matt Hardy would become broken Matt Hardy. It's kind of the cliche thing for all the YouTubers out there to be doing. Maybe some of you thought we were going to be doing the version 1 Matt Hardy. Hell, maybe I would have done Money Matt. But instead, I'm going to do my own version of Matt Hardy. Kind of a take on Edge's oh-so-popular Rated R Superstar gimmick. But instead of Edge inheriting into gimmick, we're instead giving it to Matt Hardy. He will be living the Rated R Superstar gimmick, and it got an initial rating of very good. And his turn, a complete success. Matt Hardy is officially a heel. He's officially the Rated R Superstar, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Matt's future has. I can't speak right now. It's 5 o'clock in the morning, guys. Calm down. We move on to our next segment here, which gets a 60 solid C rating. Jeff Hardy is still kind of being taken care of here, even though he's not shown on screen. We can see that he is being taken out kind of on that gurney thing, or whatever you want to call it, by the paramedics, as he's most likely injured right now. And if he's not injured, he's heartbroken. Either way, as he's being taken out, Bobby Heenan makes his way out here, and I guess he comes out to, lighten the mood, you can say, as he takes to the mic and goes, "Jeez, is it just me, or does it feel like a morgue in here? Lighten up, people. You act like you just saw Family Feud. Look, I can tell you all need something to take the edge off. Especially the ladies, if you know what I'm saying. So allow me to introduce to you to the reflection of perfection, Mark Jindrak." And of course, out comes Mark Jindrak, who made his return to Backlash, kind of showing off a new, more narcissistic style to him. And out comes, as Bobby Heenan put him, the reflection of perfection, posing, showing off his physique, just, showing that he is just a man made of muscle as he makes his way down to the ring alongside his new manager, Bobby the Brain Heenan. And Heenan goes on to take the storyline once again, and takes the storyline, what am I saying? Takes the mic and he goes, "Look at this specimen right before your eyes. He's a human experiment come to life. He's a walking statue, and there isn't a soul in the back who wants to step up and take on this masterpiece. Trust me, I've checked. Which is why I've got the chance of a lifetime for one of you lucky attendees. I'm sure there are plenty of men, and I use that word loosely, but I'm sure there are plenty of men who think they can take on the supreme specimen here. So let's see. What about you, dreaded wonder? You want to step up and take on the reflection of perfection, Mark Jindrak? And of course, he is talking to Trent Acid, who is a stunt grandma. And Trent Acid is just one of our plants. He is a developmental star who I guess in a way is kind of getting the call up here because he's kind of going to be used for a storyline. I don't know if it's a permanent call up or not, but we'll see how it works out for Trent Acid. Anyway, he is the lucky fan who is going to try and take on Mark Jindrak in this matchup here. This goes ahead and advances this segment, and we head into the matchup, which gets a 48D plus rating here, and a terrible matchup. Mark Jindrak defeats Trent Acid in 3 minutes 27 seconds by submission, making quick work of the so-called fan. Mark Jindrak and Bobby Heenan, of course, a good pairing. We know all that already. Play off each other well. Trent Acid getting better at his gimmick. Hey, there you go, Trent. Okay. This did go ahead and cool the crowd a little bit, but that's okay. That's, Mark Jindrak's, it's just a quick little squash match. What can you do? Jindrak looked good out there. He had an in-ring performance of a 65. Trent Acid, unfortunately, with an 18. I mean, there is room for improvement, but I don't know if that's the best start for you, your career, Trent. I was hoping you would impress me a little bit more, but it's average. Anyway, though, Mark Jindrak gets the victory, but afterwards, we got a freestyle segment here because, like I said before, I don't want to write everything out. Some things I can just explain to myself. 61 solid C rating here as Mark Jindrak refusing to let go of the torture rack submission on Trent Acid, as Acid is just screaming for pain, or screaming out of pain. The referee is trying to get Mark Jindrak to let go, but of course, like I said, he's refusing, and that leads to the arrival of Albert, who comes down to the ring. Him and Mark Jindrak kind of brawl for a bit there. Albert gets gets Mark Jindrak out of the ring, clotheslines him over the ropes, and him and Heenan kind of retreat as Albert kind of stands there, saying, you want to pick on someone your own size, fight me or whatnot. So kind of the first storyline for Mark Jindrak here is he'll be taking on Albert. Of course, we already know about him and Heenan. I'm not going to mention that or try not to mention that anymore. And it gained heat for the Reflection of Perfection storyline. So good stuff. 61 solid C there. We then move to a 65 solid C rating here as during the commercial break, the Dudley Boyz are, of course, continuing to talk themselves up. And Bubba goes on to, as we catch him saying, what you saw out there is exactly what we said we were going to do. We told the hotties we were going to put them down, and we did. And now, who's the next pair of chumps to step up? And it's like on cue, Ron Simmons and Rodney Mack of Damnation jump the Dudley Boyz, jump Bubba Ray and Devon from behind, taking them out, tossing them into the wall, just pretty much knocking them unconscious before Ron Simmons stands over there. Rodney Mack probably picking up the tag titles, looking at them both like, look at these pieces of gold. These are nice. And Ron Simmons just, he looks at them, probably yelling at Bubba's face saying, next time you'll put some respect on our names when you're bragging. So, quick little segment here as this happened between the commercial break, but it looks like Damnation is calling their shot here. We heard the Dudley Boyz kind of sending a message to the entirety of the tag team division, but it looks like Ron Simmons and Rodney Mack, none too particular that they weren't mentioned by name. This goes ahead and starts off a storyline. It's called The Split of the Dudleys? With a question mark there. We'll see if that'll happen. And no worker improvements. 65 solid C rating here. And we then get ready for the main event. The Undertaker and Kane are out there. The Clique are ready for the matchup. And as Shawn Michaels gets in the ring, it looks like, we're about to start off with Shawn Michaels and Kane. But before the referee can ring the bell, Shawn goes, ooh, my back. Oh, my back. I can't do it, ref. I got to sit this one out. I can't do it. Can't do it. And he goes to Diesel. He goes to Kevin Nash. Gives him the tag in, even though Nash technically, there's no tag, but he tags Kevin Nash in. He pretty much tags out of the match, and he plays everybody. Shawn Michaels is not wrestling tonight. He complains that his back is still hurting, and instead of Triple H and Shawn Michaels taking on the Brothers Destruction, instead of the Dream match, we're just going to get Kevin Nash and Triple H taking on the BOD. 77, solid B rating for this, though. Shawn Michaels really playing to the crowd here. So here we go, main event time. Match gets a solid 80 B rating here. Hell yeah, it did. You can't complain. You can't complain. Solid 80 B rating? I wouldn't have expected that, especially with our backstage and being a short matchup here. Either way, though, 80 B rating here and an exceptional matchup here. The Brothers of Destruction go on to defeat the team of Triple H and Kevin Nash, the Clique, in 7 minutes 58 seconds after Kevin Nash intentionally gets himself disqualified. Let me finish the sentence there. While fighting against The Undertaker, so maybe hitting a very intentional low blow right in front of the referee, maybe hitting him with some sort of weapon like a sledgehammer. I don't know what Triple H does, but all goes according to plan. They were never going to work a real match with them tonight. It was all a setup just to beat down on The Undertaker. We all know the Clique's motives, guys. Come on. Triple H and Stephanie, we already know about their great chemistry. Why do I always bring it up? But I think what's awesome here is Triple H and Kevin Nash have excellent chemistry when teaming with each other. Excellent chemistry when teaming with each other. Let me say it one more time. Excellent chemistry when teaming with each other. How do we do it? How do we do it? I mean, maybe the mod already had them with excellent chemistry because they're best friends, but I'm going to go under the influence that we got lucky. I'm just going to say it because I don't think Kevin Nash and Triple H really ever teamed with each other. So, look at that. Excellent chemistry teaming with each other. You can't deny that. Brothers of Destruction don't have excellent chemistry. Look at that. Look at that. Kevin Nash didn't even get injured. Look at that. Unfortunately, not enough selling shown, but that's okay. I wasn't expecting it to. Kane, in-ring performance of an 83. The Undertaker with a 95. Kevin Nash with an 81, the worst of the matchup here, not surprising. Triple H with an in-ring performance of a 96. He was the best of the matchup here. And that goes ahead and advances. It must be because these guys aren't aligned, because Hogan wasn't in this either. But of course, as you also read here, Shawn Michaels providing a little bit of distraction. I'd imagine, on the outside, he's working around with Kane. Not so much the Undertaker, because Undertaker doesn't care. So we go off to end off the night with an 84B plus rating here. As the ref calls for the bell, HBK slides to the ring. He joins Kevin Nash and Triple H on the beatdown of in the beatdown on the Brothers of Destruction here, as we got a 3-on-1, and all is going to according to plan. Kane's kind of just already laying. Maybe Kevin Nash is choking him off to the side, while Triple H and Shawn Michaels are, beating down on the dead man. And like I said, all is going according to plan until the music of Hulk Hogan plays. We got the I am a real American, fight for the rights of every man. Hulk Hogan's music plays. Out comes the Hulkster. To much of Triple H's surprise here, because Triple H probably thought he's done with Hulk Hogan. It's time to focus on the championship, but the Hulkster is not done with the Clique, brother. As he comes down to the ring, he makes his way into the ring. Of course, the Clique go on to jump him. All three members immediately going after Hulk Hogan, much to their mistake because they took their eyes off the Brothers of Destruction. And now we've got a classic 3-on-3 as Hulk Hogan and the Brothers of Destruction fight off the Clique, take him out of the ring, and make them retreat as Hulk Hogan and Kane just start celebrating in the middle of the ring. Kane is kind of marking out because, it's Hulk freaking Hogan. Unfortunately for Kane, his brother's not doing the same, because as Hulk Hogan turns around, still kind of celebrating and all hulking up, he gets grabbed right into the throat by The Undertaker, and the WWE Champion chokeslams him in the middle of the ring, laying down the Immortal One. And as Kane just kind of sits there looking all shocked, like, what the hell was that for? The Undertaker looks at Kane in complete disgust, like, are you kidding me? You're sitting here marking out with Hulk Hogan. And he leaves Kane in the ring with Hulk Hogan as he leaves the arena, while Kane stays there to check on the fallen Hulk Hogan. And the crowd is just kind of going, what just happened? And that's how Raw ends. Shawn Michaels getting better at his gimmick. Crowd was hot. And no worker improvements, but hey, let's see how we did. We end off the show. We get ourselves a 83 B+ rating. No specific comments to be made about the show, but hey, we didn't lose popularity, and I'd be willing to bet if that Backstage wasn't so bad, we might have gained popularity. So you know what? I take this as an absolute win. Raw has kind of been on the downside lately, and it was kind of my mission to improve Raw. I've noticed that my Raws haven't been all that great, so I need to focus more on my main talent, which is what we did tonight, and I'd say complete success. Let me know what you guys think about this Raw down in the comment section below if it was an improvement over the last ones, because I know those last ones definitely weren't the best ones. Either way, though, that is going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, do me a favor, leave me a comment, like, subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, don't forget to share this video with your friends, Facebooks, Twitters, Instagrams. I don't give a dams. Anybody you feel would enjoy my content, give it a share. Help your homeboy get some new subscribers up in this bitch. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video, which we will be doing the local to global. Or if you don't watch that, I'll see you guys for Nitro.